welcome back in. I am back in the lab. I'm a drums and percussion instructor, and again, this is Friday 421. And as always, that's Keygan with a Y, not an E. I can't make an X with one hand. I'll just put an X over it in post. Up until this point, everything we've done has been either triplets or 16th notes or a combination of the two. Now today I'm going to do something that if you aren't a drummer, and even if you are a drummer, is really uncommon. Instead of 3 notes per click or 4 notes per click per quarter note, we're going to do 5. And this is a 5-lit accent tap. 5s are really unconventional. I don't think if you play a wind instrument or a guitar, you may not have seen a whole lot of them. There's some really famous 5s throughout history. The Don't Stop Believin', the guitar solo in the beginning. The guy riffs on a bunch of 5s and he puts the accent on each 4th note. So it feels really weird. It feels like it's just out of time, but it actually is in time, which is pretty incredible. I know a lot of like Chopin preludes and stuff like that. Chopin uses a bunch of 5s, but in this context I think it's tougher because if you're playing a solo piano or a solo guitar or something like that, if you fall out of time, no one's really going to be able to tell, especially if you're playing 5s. If you're trying to play them accurately in time that's very, very rigid, that's tough to do. If you can do this exercise, there's really not that much you're going to have problems with from a timing standpoint, because that 5 feels so awkward that if you can do that, you're not going to have any issue with all the basic rhythms that we always play. Most of the stuff that we hear like on the radio involves some kind of 16th note rhythm. If you look at the 16th note timing, a lot of that stuff is stuff that you play regularly, especially if you're in like beginning band, middle school band, starting into high school band. I think I have, in the show for my high schoolers, there's 1 5, and it's actually exposed, so that may change.
It's up to you guys if you're going to play that in time or not.
With the 5, since they're so uncommon, there isn't really any kind of common subdivision or syllables that we use. So you can use, I've used hippopotamus before, opportunity, that one's super popular, but really any 5-letter word or 5-syllable word, 5-letter word, that doesn't make any sense. Any kind of 5-syllable word will work. Opportunity, hippopotamus. I'm trying to think of other 5-syllable words, and now I'm not. Apoplectic is 4. If you can think of some, use them. Yeah. Anyway, so the way this works, exactly the same way as the triplets and 16ths do. Accent the first partial, second, third, fifth, fourth, third, fourth, fifth. You guys might be able to tell my brain's kind of fried even today when I have a little bit of off time. I'm still like, I've been teaching so much. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. And this first time through, I'm going to accent the downbeats also, so you know where that falls. Eventually I'll do it without, which I think that makes it tougher. So if you can put the downbeats in, that'll kind of help you make sure that that space is consistent between each of the notes. So here are the 4s. So I'll do the first accent, and I'm slow immediately. What makes this hard and challenging is we're going to want to try to morph this into 16th notes or sometimes 6s. We always try to kind of go to the common rhythm that we know, which is either 16th notes or sextuplets or 6lets. And I always find myself kind of trying to do that. Here's the second bar. I'll do it again. So you can feel it feels a little disfunct. Disfunct? Is that a word? Disfunct? It feels a little dysfunctional. I'm just cutting that short for some reason. It feels a little dysfunctional because we're not used to hearing 5 notes spread consistently and evenly across that beat. So I'll do the 4s for you once more. And then same formula as always. 2s, we play them twice, so we do each accent twice. Here are the 2s. Should start at the first bar of the 2s, the first partial, the downbeat. Stop. And then the 1s work the same way. So the whole way through here we've been in 4, then we're going to be in 2, but on the 1s I'm going to make that a 5/4 bar because there's 5 partials and we're accenting each one. So I'm going to play 1 bar of 5 with each of the partials in there and play it 4 times. And you can see, like what I was talking about before, with that common rhythm of, or that common accent pattern that we see a lot associated with 6s. When we're on the 1s, that's when it starts to come back to bite you. I always have to make sure that first accent on count 2, when I'm doing the first and second partial, is right on count 2. When I first started learning this, I would always rush, like just slightly, because I wanted that second accent to be there on the downbeat. I don't want that. And again, that's such a small fraction of time. We're taking 5 notes in a bar, or 5 notes in a beat, compared to 6 notes in a beat, and we want it to be 5, and that's such a short fraction of time. Maybe I'll try to do the math. I'm at 86 beats per minute. That's what the chord note, the click is set at. Maybe I can do that math in post. I don't know which side I'm gonna be. There's probably numbers like going down next to me, and because I can't do the math right now. Maybe I figured it out, how like the distance between 5 notes in a chord note space and 6 notes, it's got to be like down to 100th of a second, a 1,000th, maybe even more. Maybe I'm way off. It's got to be something like that though. So I'm going to try to play the whole thing. And again, this is really important too, because when we take the downbeat accents out, we still have to feel that space, because it's going to be super crucial to making sure that we can place the accents where they want to be accurately. So here's the whole thing. Accent, 5-let accent tap with an accent on the downbeats. The best piece of advice I can kind of give with this, besides getting used to the accents, is the same exact advice that we do with the 16ths and the triplets. I know my students are already sick of me hearing me say this, but I think they're starting to understand like the value in it. If you can play just 5-lets really, really low at tempo and just keep that and lock it in, then all you have to do is just lift up on the height changes. I'm not trying to place every single one of those accents, because if I do that, especially if I'm doing 5s, there's no way I'm not even going to know if that's accurate necessarily. There's no 5-lit subdivision on a metronome, but if I can make sure that my 5-lits are true and in time, then all I have to do is just pick up my stick for the accents. I'm not having to force it or trying to place it exactly where it should be. So we can do this. If you can keep all those down there and accurate, then it's just a matter of lifting up the accents, and even just doing it bar by bar like I just did will help you kind of feel what that's like. So I'm going to try it this time without the downbeats on the accents, and pay attention when we get to the ones, because something kind of interesting happens and it makes this whole thing a little tougher. That was a little rough. So you can hear when we get to the ones without the accent, I'm playing an accent every 6th note. So this is really, really tough to keep straight because I feel like each one of those accents should be on the downbeat, and especially with no subdivision, I have to make sure that those 5s and those notes are going to be spread consistently across the beat. And when I get there, even like as I'm thinking through the last rep that I played, especially on the 2s also, I have to remind myself, trust yourself playing the low 5s, trust yourself playing that low height and locking them in, because even myself, I feel myself kind of trying to place some of those, because I played this so often, I kind of know where those accents should fall, but I don't know exactly where they should fall. Instead of trying to force it where I think it should go, I need to just rely on the 5s underneath and let those place the accents instead of trying to make sure that my hands just do it to make sure that those accents fall where I think they should. I don't really have a whole lot of variations for this, at least not yet. I think the one I just have, I play backwards just because this is so hard on its own. Just playing 5s in general and then moving it on each partial is really tough. The other one that I've kind of learned to do with this is doubling the downbeat. So I keep the accents where they are and always keep a diddle on the downbeat, which is kind of interesting. So here's that one. As always, follow me on all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Otherwise, that's it. I'm drawing a complete blank. I think I covered everything besides not playing this exercise very well. I don't have anything else.
Bye!